What if I told you Nero could play the fiddle? Maybe we shouldn't start there, let's start at the beginning. No matter what you do in this life, you can become burnt out, and sometimes when I become burnt out I find myself on a bar stool asking a bartender for another drink. I hadn't been to a bar in years. My favorite watering hole was called the Little Pub, a great place to grab a beer and maybe a side of chips. It was one of them places where the lights were always dimmed low, people spoke in whispers. It was a wonderful place to go and think. Every time a writer finishes a novel, he or she falls into this deep, dreamy, and somewhat sour depression. He for a moment must leave the world he built so hard to create and whittled out of imaginary wood, and leave his friends and enemies behind, to work on new worlds and sculpt new faces out of clay. I fell into this sour depression and found myself sitting at my old bar, but to my surprise the name had changed. Along the top, a bright, red neon sign flashed on and off like a broken hotel sign. One of those hotels you had no business at, the ones that came with free eyes behind dirty windows or two-way mirrors, along with you a complimentary breakfast. For a moment I questioned opening the door. The neighborhood had changed. What used to be a busy and loud street had fallen into a dark place. Street lights were missing or had broken bulbs. Houses and business were empty and forgotten. Shattered glass lay broken below old mannequins and storefronts. Much of the blame could be directed toward places like Walmart and Amazon. I always found it funny how finding something cheaper cost more in the end. Everything cost the same, we just pay for it in different ways. The red neon buzzed and hissed, burning the words "the Waypoint Bar and Grill" into what was left of my failing corneas. Oddly, there were no cars in the parking lot, but an old yellow "Come On In" sign hung just below one of the windows. As I walked toward the front door of the bar, the hairs on the back of my neck began to stand up. A familiar feeling, an old one of thirst and curiosity, began to fill both my mouth and my mind. Reaching for the doorknob, I felt a strange sensation travel from my hands to my feet and then back again, a sensation close to the feeling you have when you crack open a ice-cold beer in a hot shower. A sensation I could both say was good and bad at the same time. I felt as if I was Alice stepping into another place or world. The bar had an unusual setup. For a moment I felt I had found the Wizard of Oz and a Chinese restaurant's love child. Paper lanterns lit the bar and hung over each table. A 1950s yellow shag carpet led the way to the bartender. Hidden somewhere in the back must have been a music stage or a place where musicians could play music. There was the intermittent sound of a fast fiddle, the one you would hear if someone was warming up or trying to tune a violin that hasn't been played in some time. Toward my left I noticed an old Wurlitzer jukebox piping out music from a lost era. Beside the bar stools, which were empty, the bar had maybe 20 or 30 tables, each filled with people drinking and having a great time. For a moment I wondered where they all parked, as there was not a single car in the parking lot, none hidden down the street. From the outside you wouldn't have even known this was a bar, unless you have been here before, or had the luck to catch the flashing red sign. Walking to the bar, a German-looking man in olive green pants and what appeared to be a military shirt cut in front of me, pointing at the jukebox saying Wurlitzer and muttering something I didn't understand. I guess in his way he was saying what he was doing and sorry for cutting in front of you. Moments later he put a few coins in the machine and Patsy Cline's "I'm Sorry" started to play. The bartender's outfit reminded me of a banker, gold chain looped down over his left pants pocket, polished a glass and sit it down in front of me, saying "Welcome to the Waypoint, if you would be so kind please follow the rules and we will be friends." As he said this he pointed to an eraser board that was tacked to one of the bar mirrors. I remember thinking to myself, this was the most modern thing in this place. The rules were strange and simple for a bar. The first one was written in bold black letters, "Stay calm." The second was, "No fighting." And the third written in red letters, "If you're able to leave, make sure no one is behind you when you walk out the door." I pondered on this one for a while, then the question seemed to drift away as I sipped my rum and coke. Then it hit me, I didn't order a rum and coke, I wanted one but I didn't order one. Almost gone, the bartender came over. Can I get you another? He asked. How did you know I wanted one and when did you pour it? I managed to say after nodding my head to his question. If you don't know by now, a bartender always knows their customers. Time seemed to move very slowly here at the Waypoint.